Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this project, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description. Today I'd like to share with you these cute Halloween treat bags I created for one of my Artisan Design Team projects. These are made with an envelope, and I'm really excited to share how I made them with you today. So let's go ahead and start first with the products I used to create these cute envelope treat bags. So this adorable paper that I've used is called Cute Halloween Designer Series paper. It does come in a 6x6 piece, and they're just some really cute Halloween images. I used this sheet, this one, and this cute skeleton one for my treat bags, but any of these papers would work. And then they all have a black and white pattern on the opposite side. And I did use those black and white patterns on my bags as well. And I'll tell you the sizes and how I did that when we get to that point of the video. You do need just a regular medium size envelope. These fit a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size card. And Stampin' Up! Sells them in packs of 40. And so you could really make a ton of these really inexpensively. The stamp set I used is the Cutest Halloween stamp set, and it does coordinate with that designer series paper. It also has a coordinating punch, which is nice for these images down here. You can see it punches out 3. It does not punch out the skeleton, but that's a pretty easy one to fussy cut by hand. So the first thing we're going to do with our envelope is we're going to remove this sticky area from the top of the flap. And I did this by just lining up the bottom here at 5 3/4 inches, which should cut off about a 3/4 inch piece. So this part is about 3/4 of an inch from the top of that flap. So now you have a nice straight flap. From here, you're going to score the edges and the bottom. So I'm going to start by placing that flat top on the top of my scoreboard, and then with the larger stylus I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch all the way down. I'm going to rotate, do again at 3/4, and then rotate again at 3/4. And then I do like to flip it and repeat. This just makes it easier for the paper to fold along that score line. So all 3 of my treat bags are made in a very similar steps, and today I'm going to make this green treat yourself bag. I felt like it has a little more steps because of the coloring aspect of the tag, while some of these tags are just fussy cut from that cute paper. The next step is to add the color to the bottom of the envelope. For this one, I used Pumpkin Pie. For the purple one, I used Highland Heather. And today I'm going to be creating this one with you, and I did use Old Olive for that. I did use a blending brush for this. It just makes it really nice and easy. And when I do this, I want to start that blend off of my envelope and then bring it up. You do want to do a blend on both the front and the back of your treat bag. And so you're going to do the same to the front and back of your envelope so that that design goes all the way across and around. So just as a note, this here is going to be the side, this will be the bottom, and this here will be the other side. So the most of what you're going to see is just right here in this large section. So you can blend that as high into your envelope as you want. Another note is that actually the back of the envelope, which is right here, will be the front of your treat bag. So if you want to do any extra designs to it, then this is where you want to stamp them. Now this coloring part of the design is not totally necessary. You could really simplify these treat bags by omitting this blending aspect and just doing a cute stamp along the bottom of those treat bags. All right, so we've got it on the front and the back. The next step is that you're going to stamp your image. So for the green one, I have placed both the solid and the lined leaf image from the stamp set, Cutest Halloween, onto one block, and I'm going to randomly stamp that. For my purple one, I used just a black ink with the spider image. And then for my pumpkin one, I used the candy corn with the pumpkin pie. So you're just going to start. You do want to make sure that you also stamp into the side, because you will see those when the bag is open. You do not necessarily need to stamp below this line here, because that line will be the bottom of the treat bag and you won't see that. So then we'll do the same here on the back. And just kind of rotate. I think it's easier to rotate the paper rather than rotating my stamp when I'm doing some random stamping like this. So this is going to be the front of my treat bag, and what I like to do is kind of make it look like it's falling out from the tag. So I'm actually going to add a couple more images looking like they're kind of falling, coming out from the center. So something like that. Okay, so now we're going to take a bone folder. We'll fold along those score lines and make a nice crease. And you'll want to do this to the front and the back so that the paper can open into the treat bag nice and easily. So once you have burnished all those score lines, you're going to open up your treat bag here, and you want to go ahead and make this bottom part flat and this side flat. And what will happen in the corner is that you're going to start to create a triangle shape. So go ahead and push that down to make a good crease, and that triangle is just going to go from one corner to the other corner, just to create the nice box shape for the bottom. So then once you have those triangles, go ahead and put them flat on your desk, and you're going to use your bone folder to make them nice and flat. And then you'll just tuck those underneath with a glue dot. So these sides are going to kind of tuck in into the bag like this so that it can fold flat at the top. So we need to adhere this flap to the top flap. And so you could use your tear and tape for this and just add it to this top section here. So I'll show you a close-up. So there's the adhesive right here, and it's just going to help adhere that flap to, so this is the side flap that's going to adhere to the top flap. So you'll just want to tuck those in. And then when that closes, those will kind of close nice and flat, and you can bring that over into your bag. Okay, so now let's decorate the top of this flap here. So this is where that cute Halloween designer series paper comes into play. And I've cut a large piece. This is 1.5 inches by 4.25 inches. And then a smaller piece, which is just a 1/2 inch strip by 4.25. And I'm going to add the 1/2 inch strip to the bottom of my larger piece. So I'm just using some tear and tape here. And then you're going to flip this over. I like to use my grid paper because I want to add it so that I can see about 1/4 inch at that bottom of that piece. So you'll end up with something that looks like this. And then you can add this to your top flap that's going to come over and to help decorate your bag. You can use tear and tape, or you could use your regular Stampin' Seal for that. Now I just noticed that I don't really want to have any adhesive down past my 1/2 inch strip, because that actually is going to be directly onto my bag and not just the flap. So I'm just going to take my finger and roll that tear and tape down a little bit so that it's not on that 1/2 inch flap there. And then I can just go ahead and add this right to that flap, like that. So you can see that that is showing, and so we don't want adhesive on that part. So that should fold over really nicely. So now let's work on the tag. So I am using the Essential Tag Punch, and I've already punched out one from some basic white cardstock, but I wanted to have this decorative edge to each corner. And so I'm going to take the top, hold it, and then just insert it into the punch, and then punch out those corners. Now I'm going to stamp my greeting on here. I wanted to use the Treat Yourself, but I need it to be stacked instead of all on one line because it doesn't quite fit on my tag as a horizontal greeting. So I need it to be more vertical. So my trick for doing this is to have your ink pad, and I'm using Memento black ink, and maybe some washi tape or other type of tape. You're going to first start by covering up the word you're not going to stamp first. So I'm going to stamp treat first. And so now I'm going to ink up the word treat, and there's a chance I could get some ink on my tape there, but that's okay because now I'm going to remove it, place it off to the side, and now I can stamp this where I want it. So I'm going to place it right about here. And then I do need to clean this. And now I'm going to take that same piece of washi tape and I'm going to cover up the word treat. Just like that. And now I can ink up yourself. And then remember to remove this. And you can always double check to make sure you didn't get any ink on the other word, and then you can stamp that on your cardstock. And so now instead of a horizontal, you have a vertical greeting. I'm also going to stamp the ghost. I liked how the ghost kind of played on a haunted village, which goes well with this paper. So I'm going to stamp the outline for the ghost on my cardstock here. And then I also have this cute little happy ghost face. And so I'm going to stamp that right there as well. Now I felt like he needed to have a little bit of shadow to him. So I pulled out my Stampin' Blends, and I'm using the light smoky slate along with the color lifter. And that's going to kind of blend it out nice so that it has a nice shape to the ghost. So I'm just going to go around with my light smoky slate and add an outline. Then I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm just going to blend that edge, the inside edge. I am staying away from my Memento black ink just because I've noticed that as you use a lot of blends on them, it can kind of make the ink bleed a little bit. But I think that turns out really cute. You have a nice soft shadow effect around your ghost. So we're going to take that coordinating punch and slide him in and then go ahead and punch him out. So off camera, I did fussy cut out 3 little houses and added them to some glue dots. And I'm just going to place them underneath my greeting here in a little village type of formation. There's no right or wrong here. Actually, this one I want to have come up just a little bit so he looks like he's more in the background. And then this little church one I want to put in the front. I like how the steeple looks between the 2 houses. And then this one off to the side. So it looks something like that. And then I've got my ghost and I have a dimensional on the back there and just kind of tuck him underneath that top house and add him to my label. So I've taken 10 to 12 inches of the black and white gingham ribbon and tied a bow. I've added a glue dot and I can just place that right over the top of my tag. And maybe tuck it behind my ghost so I can see his cute little face. And then I'm going to take some candies or toys and fill up my treat bag. Nice and full. It's pretty big. You can fit a lot of good stuff in there. And then you're going to fold that over. You can add a glue dot here or a dimensional. I'm just going to add a glue dot just to make sure everything stays nice and closed and inside. And then you're going to take your tag, add a dimensional to the back of that. If you wanted, you could add a second one there just to kind of hold everything nice and closed and place it on your treat bag. So one little change that I made to my other bags is that instead of using adhesive to keep it closed, I did do a hole punch. And so that hole punch does go through the bag. I've punched 2 here and then punched a hole in my tag and then strung my ribbon through that and adhered it that way. So using the hole punch technique is going to keep the bag closed in case you're handing these out maybe on Halloween night and they're placing it inside the kids' candy sacks and it's going to get moved around. This technique works really well if you don't have a hole punch and maybe you're using them for a party. It makes it just a little bit easier for your guests to open that up, or maybe for a class, the kids in that class to open it up and get the candy from inside. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create these cute envelope treat bags today. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images of this project, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.